Good morning. We're just going to jump straight into the March vlog. I have just got into the shop and I have dragged a whole heap of stuff upstairs with me. I had a big clean up in the shed at home just so I could get my head around what was actually in there, and also it becomes a bit of a dumping ground. So I kind of put everything back in its sort of place, cleared the floor of everything, and then I brought in some of the excess stock that I knew would actually need topping up here. So I've just dragged all that up. We are going to get started with the March vlog, but like I say in so many of them, I'm not sure how it's going to go. Honestly, this month I'm really not sure how much I'm going to have for the vlog. In the last 2 weeks online, I have had 3 orders come in. At the start of the month, we all know what's going on in the world. And as soon as it all kicked off, my sales just went boom. And it's been really, really quiet online. It has been thankfully quite busy in the shop, which I'm really, really grateful for. So that is keeping me going. But in terms of online orders, it's not happening. So I don't know if we'll have any orders to pack this week. We'll see. But luckily I actually do have plenty of things to keep me going. We're going to get the computer and everything set up. I have about 2 minutes until I open the door. But what I have got, let's get you off the tripod and I will show you. Now I did share this on socials last week, but in case you don't follow along on social media, I got into the shop my time last week on Tuesday and I went to print some product labels up and I ran out of ink on the printer. And I had this big long list of all these things that I needed to make last week. And I didn't want to make all this stuff and not have the ability to label it, because that for me is how mistakes happen. So I had to have a little bit of a change of plan, and I decided to make last week a big soaping week. So this is currently what my benches look like. I have to get on top of this. I will be able to clear most of this out. This is what I've just brought up with me this morning. But last week I did end up making a whole heap of soaps. So one of the things I have to do today is tidy all of these soaps up and then get them photographed ready for the YouTube videos, because all of them have been filmed in one way or another. So they've either been filmed like these ones as big videos, or like these ones as little shorts, which will be appearing on the socials. But we're going to get all those tidied up. I have some little rays of sunshine to unmold, and then I have more soaps over here. I have some more which I need to tidy up here. And then I did something on the Saturday that I don't normally do, and that is I made some more soaps. So hopefully these are going to cut okay. This one is a long video and these two either side are for reels, so we'll get those ones cut. I'll then be able to have a little bit of a tidy up here, get my benches all nice and clean, and then I'll be able to get on with this big long list of stuff I should have made last week. We've got things like dish soap to make. What else was on my list? Is somewhere under all this lot, but I know there was definitely some dish soap. I do need to make one more of the solid perfumes that I've just released, because I only got time to make 3 of those. So I got 1 more of those to make this week, which will be one of the first things I do, seeing as they are now up for sale. I have to find the list. A magnesium oil, that was another thing I had to make. So I'm gonna go and get my computer all set up. I'm gonna get the door open. We're gonna start putting some of this stuff away and get on with the day, see how things go, and hopefully we're gonna have a good week. But I do feel the next few, well, I can't even say weeks, I'm gonna say months. I'm gonna say the next few months are going to be super duper difficult. But if I can make it, hopefully we can make it through. I said this in COVID as well. If I can make it through COVID, I can make it through anything. So I've got to make it through. Let's go and get the shop open so at least I can start earning some money. So as you can see, I'm tidying up my soaps, and I thought I would give you a little bit of an update on my original review for this Edgemobile 2 bevel thing that comes from Custom Craft Tools in the US. I got this in a few years ago and I really did not give it a very good review at all. I was so disappointed with it, really disappointed that I'd listened to so many influential soap makers about this, got it in, and I was just very, very disappointed. I felt when I was using it, it was actually dragging down my soaps and leaving marks, and it was not what I had expected it to be. Now, I never actually threw the tool out. It has been sitting on my bench for a long, long time, and Lee from Wickedly Goods convinced me to be using her tool. I'll see if I can grab it. So this is the tool that she convinced me to get and use, and it does work really, really well. One of the things I never really liked about these particular tools was the amount of soap it actually took off the edges, but she had designed her soap beveler so that it didn't take off too much. And I do like how it works. However, as you can see, I'm not going purposely slow or anything, but as you can see, it does take me a little bit longer to do the edges of my soap here. There is an advantage that it does always give you a really nice clean finish to your edges, whereas sometimes when you use the beveling tools, it gets a little bit wonky depending how you put them through. But it did take me a lot longer to be beveling my soaps using this method. I've seen other people who zoom through soaps with this, but it's just something I've always struggled to get really nice sort of movement with, but I have been using it. And this tool just kept sitting there looking at me. I didn't want to throw it out because I'd paid good money for it. It wasn't super expensive, but I paid good money for the tool, and it was sitting there just looking at me. And one day I had a few soaps that I had sitting on the bench. They were kind of made, they weren't my best. I was testing stuff, so they weren't my best soaps. And I thought, you know what? I'm just going to see if I can use this tool on my soap. Now, these soaps had been sitting on my bench for a couple of days, so they'd firmed up a little bit. And I actually found that they glided through my thing quite easily. When I first showed using this, as I was gliding this down, all this soap was sticking to the edges, and then it was dragging all over the soap, and it just did not give a really nice finish. I think one of the biggest problems I actually had with this tool, and this is something which is so important when it comes to selling your items, is that I actually did not have a very good buying experience with this particular tool. The website was awful. It glitched out on me so many times, even though they said that they shipped internationally. When I actually jumped on it, because it's a Shopify store and it registered I was in Australia, it immediately converted the pricing to Australian dollars. And when I went to go and pay, because their PayPal account didn't accept Australian dollars, it wouldn't let me pay, and I couldn't get an answer from them as to why I couldn't pay. And I eventually worked out it was because the website was showing me in Australian dollars, trying to pay in Australian dollars, and it wasn't going to work. And as soon as I worked out how to get the website to stay in American dollars, I was able to then check out. So the sort of buying process had already put a bad sort of impression on me. It then took them, I think it was about a week before they actually shipped my parcel. And I just felt, I understand when you get this sudden rush, because it was at the time that this had really been put out and all these soap makers were talking about it. I understand if you get this big sudden rush of orders that it is going to delay you shipping stuff out, especially if you are making the tools as well. But I also believe that you should be keeping your customers up to date. So if there is a 3 to 4 or 5 or 1 week delay into sending mail out, it should actually be very, very clear on websites, or if someone's ordered and you think, oh, I'm not going to get that out in time, it should actually be conveyed to the customers instead of just making them wait and wait and wait and not know what's going on. So I just felt that the whole process of buying this particular tool had already put me in a really, really bad frame of mind when I got it. I was already really disliking it by that point, and I think that was why I never really stopped and thought about back then waiting until the soaps had hardened up before using it. Now I have this sort of policy of leaving my soaps to harden for at least 2 to 3 days before I go and edge them, and this tool now works brilliantly with it. It's would I recommend it? It's one of those things that if you like to get your soaps tidied up as soon as you've cut them and onto your cure rack, because you do not have the space to leave them sitting on your sides, this is not the tool for you. You need to leave your soaps in, unless you've got a really, really hard recipe, you need to leave those soaps for a few days before you can actually successfully use these without damaging your soaps. Luckily, I do at this stage have that ability to leave my soaps sitting on a tray, as you've seen around the shop, before tidying them up. So if you're like me, that the tool may be of some use to you. I have now grown to love-hate it. I still don't like the history I have with this tool, but I still don't want it sitting on my bench just looking at me sitting there doing nothing. So I have learned how to use it, and it does, I will admit, for me personally, make beveling the edges of my soaps much quicker. I just can't get the rhythm of using this particular one quick enough. I envy those of you who can use it that quickly. It is still a really, really good tool, and I do use it occasionally, but now I have actually learned to use this one as well. It does make that job a little bit quicker. I'm gonna get these soaps stamped. I'm gonna get these ones on the cure rack, and then I've got a couple where I actually need to tidy them up and then photograph them. These ones were done as shorts, so I don't need to photograph these soaps. All right, let's get on with it. Oh, I need to stamp them, and I'm gathering them up in my hands. Oh, doing too many things at once. it's just gone 3:30, so I've got less than half an hour left in the shop. And it's been a pretty interesting day. At one point, I really didn't think I was going to get very much done. I was tidying up all the soaps this morning, and I was actually quite busy this morning, right up until about 11 o'clock. And then just after 11 o'clock, the entire street seemed to have gone really, really quiet. Like even now, there's only about, well, I can only see 3 cars parked in the street out there right now. So it's gone really, really quiet. But this morning it was busy, and I'm thinking, oh, I'm not going to get anything done. I finished putting all the soaps and everything away, and I went to start making other things, and I realised I had all my washing up, all the clean washing up out back, all the dirty washing up. And so I can't do anything until I've cleaned up. So I had to make that my next sort of priority. Thinking I'm not going to get anything done today. It's all about soap and tidying up. But I then decided, no, go through the list of things that I've got that are really, really simple and easy to make and get them done. So I did get the solid lotion bars done up because that was an absolute priority, given that I have actually officially released them on the website and not made them all. So that's all done. I then made some magnesium oil, so that's actually cooling down because it doesn't get particularly hot, but when you mix magnesium and water together, it makes a really slight exothermic reaction, so you don't want to be packaging that while it's still warm, especially seeing as you're actually relying on the salt content to do the preservation within the product. So that's over on the bench. I'll bottle that up tomorrow. And then I needed to make some lip oils, and because that's one of those things, again, where I heat it, it needs to cool down. I thought, right, we'll do the lip oils next. I got 3 of those sitting over on the bench. I've printed up all the labels for everything that I've made today, so tomorrow I could just come in, package them all up, label them, get them onto the shelf. And then the other thing I've done, I did find my big long list of things that need to be done this week. I've printed up the 3 things I want to make tomorrow, which will be dish soap, because I'm out of it out the back now. We've only got 2 on the counter, so I need to make some more of that. I also want to make some Mother's Day gift pack idea things. We've got a little mini foot cream and a mini packet of salts that I want to make up tomorrow. And then hopefully I can also make up some melts as well. I need to do next month's monthly melt edit. And I also have the soaps that I cut today to tidy up tomorrow. So it's going to be another day full of things to do, but I am actually surprised at how much I did do today, given that at one point I thought, I'm not going to be able to do anything with the mess I'm in right now, but nope, proved myself wrong. But like I said, I haven't got long now until the door closes, so what I'm doing now is labeling up the last of my soap boxes for all the soaps that I have been making. If you're not aware, I get my boxes actually printed by a company here, and originally they've actually been printed without soap names on them, so I can put whatever soap names I want. And originally when I used to do my soap names, I was using a Brother P-Touch labeler with the clear labels in them, which is a really simple, easy way of doing them, but I just kind of felt that the label paper, it actually wastes a lot, and I couldn't work out the settings within my printer to stop it from wasting putting too much of a gap between the labels. And I just felt that it was actually quite expensive to do labels that way. And then one day I decided, I was putting in an order for some DTF print, DTF, one of those things. I was putting in an order for this printing, and I thought, I wonder if I can actually get my labels printed up and then stick them to my boxes. And it works perfectly, because one of the things I have on my boxes is some embossed lettering and UV spotting on it, so that the actual additional print looks like it should be a part of that box and not something that's been put on later. So I'm doing that now. I actually send off, sometimes I make a load of soaps and then I send off for the labels, especially now because they've changed the way that they do their printing. But up until mid last year, if you put an order in with the company, you have to fill in what they call a gang sheet. So that's just the sheet of paper and you fill in everything that you wanted printed. And they used to have specific sizes. So I used to then send off for the ones I definitely knew I wanted. And then I would send off like a whole heap of just random ones. And I think, oh, I'll just make a soap with those later. So like this is one of them. I've got Spring Bloom. That's how long ago I had these printed, because I was meant to do a soap for spring and we're just heading into autumn. That's how bad I've been with stuff. But I used to fill in their gang sheets with just whatever, just to get the best value out of them. And last week I sat down and I looked at all these random pieces that I had lying around. I thought, right, go and make them all. And I now actually have, this is the only one I've actually got that I haven't made. And I'm a bit like, oh, do I just hang on to it for a few more months, or do I just make it? Or I haven't decided yet, but I have, that's the only one that hasn't been done. I've done all the others. Now, thankfully though, this company has actually changed their way their gang sheets go up. I use it's a local company, DTF store, that's it, DTF. And they're actually just around the corner from the shop. And they've actually changed how they do their sheets now, so that you just pay for what you use. So if you only want to get one thing printed, you can do that. Like, you could have had that done before, but it was going to cost you a fortune because you'd have to pay for a whole gang sheet. But now it actually charges you per centimetre that you use. So now all I have to do is make my soaps and then send off for the names that I need printing. But for now, I'm about to use up the very last of the ones I had printed before spring last year. They would have to have been printed up in winter for me to have done Spring Bloom, and this was one of them, Bergamot Patchouli. So really, really pleased with myself for getting all those cleared out. There was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them, which actually had to be made up and have been sitting there forever. Anyway, I'm going to finish labelling these boxes up, head on home, and then I will be back in the shop tomorrow for hopefully a slightly busier day. We'll see what happens. All right, it is Wednesday. I am in the shop. I've already had a couple of people come in this morning. Hopefully we'll get more people coming in throughout the day. Like I said, it was busy yesterday morning and then it really died off about 11 o'clock and it was really, really quiet. But hopefully we'll have a few more people come through today because I haven't got any online orders again. And we'll see how that pans out. While I was editing the video this morning, I was fixing up my titanium dioxide, which I threw all over the floor. I spotted these the other day. I cleaned out my titanium dioxide bottle the other day, and I used to have some little decorative marble stones in here, and I was a little bit concerned because one of the marble stones had a chip in it, which is really bad. So I have got rid of the marble stones that were in here, and I just thought I'm just going to have to make up small batches of titanium dioxide and hope for the best. But the other day, let's see if we can get, there it goes, it's moving now. The other day I spotted, and I don't know why I haven't thought of these things before, but I spotted these little ball things. These are what you put in your protein shaker bottles to mix the powder and whatever liquid that you put in with them. I spotted them the other day. They're made of stainless steel, and I thought, I wonder if this will actually work as an option in here. And this morning I gave this a bit of a shake. I thought, oh, it's stuck. And a couple of minutes later, and it started to move around again. So I think these might be a good option. You do need a fairly big container. I really had to squish this in to actually get it in there. It is never coming out again unless I destroy the bottle. But yeah, if you've been having trouble and you're looking for something that's safer than glass marbles to put in here, because quite often finding the little stainless steel bearings, they're either not big enough or it's really hard to find those bigger ones. But try your protein shaker balls instead, because they actually might work a lot better. But anyhow, we've got lots of things to be doing today. I've just got out the crock pot and all the ingredients to make some solid dish soap. So I'm going to get that on the go. I'm going to be making myself a couple of spare pots to go out the back there because I'm completely out. While it's cooking, I have got the solid lotion bars which need to be packaged up. I have the magnesium oil to bottle up, this the lip oil. I also have the soaps from yesterday to tidy up. I know I usually leave them for about 3 days before tidying them, but because they sat in the mold for so long, I just have a feeling I'm going to be able to do them today, which will be a bonus because then I can pop them in my basket and I'm taking 3 each of all the soaps home to take photographs so I can finish all the videos and get them all loaded onto YouTube. I have a few goals I am working towards with YouTube, and it does involve getting myself well ahead with video making. So I'm going to get on with doing all of that. Hopefully we'll get a few more people coming through the shop, but in order for me to be able to get those people, I need to get the door open and get those smells wafting out. So that is what I'm going to go and do now. I got an order. Super happy when I heard my phone go cha-ching at me. This one is for Denise, who does actually order from me quite a bit. Her daughter, I don't know if she's still there because I haven't seen her for a while, but her daughter used to work next door in the hairdressers, and one day I was invited to go next door. She was an apprentice, and I was invited to go next door and have a hair treatment of some sort so she could have a little bit of practice. And what the owner wanted her to do, I don't think they realised, it doesn't look like I have a lot of hair. It is super duper fine. So when you actually start looking at it, because of how fine it is, there is actually an awful lot of hair there. I'd be one of these people who, if I actually had thicker hair, it would be sitting out here like this. But she was asked to do foil, like a head full of foils on my hair, to do colouring and highlighting through my hair. And I don't think they realised how much hair was actually there. And I was there for hours and hours. I don't know how women do it. I was so sore by the end of it. But she did such an amazing job, and I felt so bad that she'd spent all this time on my hair. And yes, it goes towards her credits and stuff, but I'd felt so bad that she'd spent so much time on my hair without the pay for that job. I actually took her a little goodie bag of things, some candles, some soaps and stuff like that, just for her to say thank you. And then her mum has been a customer of mine ever since. So going to get these packed. What have we got? You guys don't like this angle. You much prefer this angle. She's ordered the last 2 of the Mulaney soaps, which I've had online. So we're going to pop those in there. And I've also got an Attitude one here as well. So I'll pop that in there. I don't have a smaller box to put this in that it will fit. So it's just going to have to go in here. And then she's also ordered 2 of the Rami Sisal soap bags. We'll pop those in there like that. I'm going to pop in a little sampler of the new lotion bars that I've been making, and we've got the little ray of sunshine to go in there too. Gonna grab some paper. We'll actually put the sample and the little lotion on, or the little soap on the top here. So I'll pop our little ray of sunshine there just to make people smile when they open it. That one, and a little thank you card as well. I need a new little sticker to go on here, and I do actually rather enjoy printing them up. Well, I shouldn't say enjoy, that's a bit weird, isn't it? But I have found it really good to be able to print them up from off of the Munbin app rather than paying people to print them myself. And every so often I just change my little sticker design, but I can use what I want when I want it. So I'll go grab that, and then we'll get this one all wrapped up and be able to take it to the post office this afternoon. I was a little bit disappointed this morning, and I shouldn't be surprised because things are going to start going up in price. But I did get a message from the people that do the electricity for the building. I am actually quite lucky with the electricity on the building. They do this wholesale thing where, so like, because this is part of the building complex behind, rather than each and every apartment going to get their own electricity company to hook them up, they actually go through this community that buys a whole heap of electricity and then can actually sell it at a cheaper price than your usual Origin and whoever else is out there, AGL and all of those companies. And you get a really, really good price. When I left the shop in Cleveland, I think I was paying, it was over 60 cents per kilowatt hour, or however it's measured. It was quite high. And when I first moved into that shop, it was really cheap. It was less than 40 cents per kilowatt hour. And then one year they just jammed it up super high. With this place, when I moved in, it was only 45 cents per kilowatt hour. And they've sent through a email this morning saying that as of the 1st of April, why people do this on the 1st of April with the sort of connotations that it actually has, but they said as of the 1st of April, it's going up to 60 cents. It's like, that's a 33% increase in the electricity. That's crazy, 33%. And I've only been given 2 weeks notice for that increase, and I don't get a choice to go and shop around for another electricity company. Mind you, they probably all are charging more anyway, and then I'd also be locked into at least a 2-year contract if I went and found another electricity company. But a 33% increase, how do they justify that much of an increase? It's just absolutely crazy. So like, I've been really, really careful since moving into this shop, because I'm pretty sure someone's using my electricity somewhere, because it is always higher, even though my rate here is considerably lower than what it was in Cleveland. My electricity is actually more than what I had down in Cleveland. And I, like, every night that I go home, I turn all my scales off, I turn all the things off that I don't need, all the printers and everything like that. And the only thing that gets left on are things like the refrigerator out the back there. I leave the light on that's outside the shop, like you've got the display sign, and it's got like a light box in it, and along with all the other shops that go down the street, I leave the light on at night time. But I've actually made the decision that's being turned off, because that stays on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and I've just decided that's getting turned off. Like, there's no point having a light on outside the shop when I'm not open. So it's just crazy. So I'm going to have a bit more of a look around at the sort of things that I have got. And it might even be things like, because the big oil tanks and stuff, they draw a lot of power. They really do. So it might even be things like, instead of putting my soaping oils into my big tank, I'll have to weigh up, try and work out how much it is to heat that big tank, like generally how long it takes me, how much heat, and work out how much it costs me to heat it up, versus melting the oils down in either the microwave, or, which I don't like doing, or in the on the little stove top. These are all the things that we're going to have to start looking at doing. That's just, yeah, 33%. That is a huge, huge increase, especially at a time when, you know, we all know that fuel is just skyrocketed out of this world. I know for me, we were working it out the other day, for me to fill my car up from empty for the last couple, like before the other week, what was it? I'll rework it out again. It was by 80 litres. It was $151 for me to fill my tank from empty to full. And it is now 200 and, what was it? I don't want to say the wrong thing. By 80. It's now 100. That's not right. That's not right. No, that's why, because I've put $1.74. Oh, wouldn't that be lovely if petrol was $1.74? It's now gone up to $220. So that's an extra $70. That's an extra $70 that I don't have to spend anywhere else. I have to put it into my car to come to work. And I'm not the only person in that boat. We all are. We all have to go to work and stuff like that. So if you think about it, that's an extra $70 I don't have to spend. I can't just go and buy a cup of coffee up the road. I can't come into a shop like this and buy something. In fact, I'm not going out anywhere because I don't want to waste my petrol other than driving to and from work. So there's been that sort of thing. Like the last couple of Mondays, hubby and I haven't even left the house other than to go and get food shopping 2 weeks ago. The orders on Monday that had come in over on the weekend, or the 2 orders I had to take down the post office, because there were only 2 and they were quite light, it got to about 8:45. I said, come on, Pepper, we're going to the post office. And we walked the parcels down, because it's only a 10-15 minute walk down to our post office from where we are. It was raining, but I wasn't going to drive my car to the post office. So, you know, we're all in this same sort of boat, that people aren't in a position to be able to buy from small businesses at the moment. And then you've got these big companies making things even more expensive. It's really, really, really difficult at the moment. Last month I spoke about the trip that we've got planned for the end of April. We still have to go down to Sydney because the tickets for the show are non-refundable. So we'd still have to go down there, but we are seriously considering the rest of the trip, whether we just have to can it all and just go down to Sydney and back again and just make it a 3-day weekend instead of a 10 or 11-day holiday, because, well, we'll see what happens. I'm not going to make this a sad vlog. I'm not. But yeah, these are all things that we're definitely considering, and it was a bit of a kick in the teeth to get that email from this electricity company this morning, especially when I can't shop around for a better deal. But it is what it is, and I'm pretty sure that if I went to one of the Origins AGLs or something like that, they'd be all charging about 80-90 cents per kilowatt hour. So I'm probably still better off, but I still think 33% is a bit rich. Imagine if I whacked 33% onto all of my products. I wouldn't sell any of them. I really wouldn't. So anyhow, I have got my foot lotion. Trying to do this without stabbing myself. I've got my foot lotion in the pan that is coming up to temperature. I'm going to go and make the soaking salts. And then I haven't yet packaged up the lip oil, so I'm going to get on with doing that. Got a couple of hours left for today, so hopefully I'll get all of that done. And then tomorrow I'll be able to make a few more things. So let's go do that. What are you looking for? You can't go in there. There's big snakes in there. You don't want to be in that bit. Lots of carpet pythons in there. So we'll keep her in this bit of the yard. She is out doing a little bit of an explore. We're both over the rain in the mornings. We haven't been able to go for walks because when we get up, it actually is raining. And if we leave it any later than what I usually like to walk her, there's just too many people. And Pepper gets super, super excited, and she's just too hard to control right now. She is getting better on her lead, but it is best if we go nice and early in the mornings. It's still very grey and overcast, and it's a bit humid this morning too, but I really want to see the sun. Just a little bit of an update on the vanilla orchid. I was a bit sad. So early or late last year, I was pollinating all of the flowers, and we actually had 5 flower spikes on it, but only one of those flowers, which is about here, actually pollinated, and only one vanilla bean on my plant. So it's going to take me a whole year to ripen up one little vanilla bean. We'll see what happens next year. So I am a little bit gutted that I've only got one vanilla pod out of all of that, but it's better than nothing. I didn't think the flowers were going to come out at all last year. The plant has been through a fair bit of stress. So I was very, very surprised that I actually got 5 flower spikes on it. And the other thing was, while I was pollinating them, I think I was in the old house, I was actually pollinating them a little bit later in the day, and I think I may have pollinated them, some of them, a little bit too early. So I'll just have to remember that if it does pollinate again or does flower again this year. And the other thing was, we actually got, quite unusually, some really big storms at the same time that it was flowering. And we actually had some hailstorms through it as well. There's actually a big hole through one of the leaves from where some hail hit it. And I think the hail actually might have damaged some of the flowers as well. And they just didn't take. But we'll get one vanilla pot and we'll see what it does this year. It's looking nice and strong and healthy now. It's got lots and lots of roots, lots and lots of new growth on it. So hopefully we'll get some more flowers on it this year. But I'm just coming back into the house. Someone has chewed up the doormat, so I can feel I've got stuff all over my shoes, and I don't want to walk mud through the house. Oh, Pepper. But she's chewed up the doormat, something rotten that we can't put it on the floor. This is what she's done to it, because we're now actually letting her stay in my front room here during the day. We lock off the doors. I've discovered that she actually gets heat rash quite badly. And I came home one day when it was really, really hot, and her whole entire chest was bright red. She had little spots all over, and I was like, oh, it's got to be the heat, because it was a really, really, really hot day. So now we've actually I cleaned this room up completely, got rid of everything that she could, what I felt she could get, and put it all away. And now we shut the doors and we leave the fan on in here, and then she can come and go from this room, come and go in and out the house, because she's got her doggy door there. And since we started doing that, she gets heat rash occasionally if she's been running around in the sun, but otherwise it's all kind of really cleared up. So that was the one thing she decided she was going to destroy, was the doormat. But if that's the only thing she does and she doesn't find anything else, so be it. She did destroy her bed. She decided last week, after weeks and weeks, well, in fact, after a couple of months of being in here, she decided she was going to destroy her bed. And I said, well, that's it. You don't get another one. So there it is. Anyhow, today I have just finished editing yesterday's footage on the vlog, and now I have come into the front room and I am going to start taking photos of all those soaps that I made last week, so that they're ready to go on the website when they're ready, and also to be able to finish off the videos that I have done for YouTube as well. So I'm going to get on with doing that, and then hopefully that should take me right up to a time of when I go into the shop. So let's get photographing. Are you quite right? Hey? What are you doing up there? Did you get busted? Hey? Did you get busted in the chair? I'll actually push this chair back in because she likes to get up on the chairs, and then we often come home and find her curled up on the table, sleeping. Cheeky. right, I've got about half an hour until the door shuts, but I am seriously contemplating going home early. I can already see that the op shop across the road is pulling all of their stuff in. So I've always known that if they've had a bad day, I've had a bad day. And when they pull their stuff in early, it does mean that they've had a really quiet day and that they're going home early. So that's a bit of a shame. So I am actually contemplating myself. There is not a single car parked in the street outside. Lots of cars going up and down, but nobody actually stopping. So it's been an extremely quiet day. I think what makes it so hard for me though, like this is being really open, raw, honest truth. I think what makes it so difficult is that next door at the hairdressers, I hear them all day having so much fun in there. They have so much fun. I can hear them all day. But I also know with the hairdresser next door, they are a very specialised hairdresser. They're not the sort where you go in and you get a $60 haircut and you're out an hour later. They are the sort of hairdresser where they do a close-up of your scalp on some of them. They do keratin treatments. They're very, very specialised in what they do, and you will not walk out of theirs without a $200-300 bill. And people think nothing of dropping $200-300 next door on their haircuts that will or their treatments that will last them, what, 6 to 8 weeks before it needs redoing. But they won't come in here and buy a $5 lip balm that's likely to last them 4 or 5 months. It gets really quite heartbreaking when I sit and think like that. So I have to learn not to think that way. If I could just have one of their customers every day drop that $200 or $300 into my store, I would just be so happy. But it is what it is. It's very, very, very quiet at the moment. And we're all in the same boat. I had somebody come in today to pick up a charity donation that I'd done, and she said even their op shops have dropped off, which is what I see with Bloomfield over there, or Bloomhill. They said even not only the people coming in to buy, but also the donations that have been made have really dropped off as well, because people can't even afford to donate stuff to them. So it's a bit sad, but hopefully this will all be over soon and we can hopefully recover. We'll see what happens. But anyhow, I'm trying to keep myself busy throughout the day. So I have made up the little mini foot scrubs. This is one of the products I will actually package up while it's warm, because it's hard to package up once it goes cold, but then I leave it opened overnight to cool down before I'll actually seal them up and pop them through the machine and get them all sealed. And then I will be taking home the scrub, the foot cream and the salts, and I'll be making some little mini foot pamper packs, which will be really nice for Mother's Day. I have also just made some melts. I did have a few melts over there that needed topping up. Probably don't really need topping up until maybe in a couple of weeks' time, but that's when my electricity goes up. And as I said, these big tanks, they draw a lot of energy, so I decided while my electricity is cheap, let's just stock up the melts and make sure that they're all stocked up, so I at least don't have to do it too soon once that electricity goes up. These are stupid things you have to consider. But anyhow, while I was doing that, I then also did the monthly melt edit melts. There's actually 6 cents there for this month, because a few people who are subscribers have actually subscribed for January, February and March, which means for April, if they renew then on their 4th one, they will get that 6th melt in their pack as well. So we've got all of that going. But that is pretty much it. That's all I've got for today. I'm super, super tired, mainly because it has been so quiet, but I'm super, super tired. So I'm going to sit down for half an hour, go and design. I do want to go home early, but I think what I'll do is I'll sit down for half an hour and actually design the labels for the melts instead, because that will be a little bit more proactive. And you never know, I might get someone walk in the door last minute. People generally do. All right, I'm going to go and get this bit put away and get on with it. All right, it is Friday. In the shop, it's a beautiful day out there. The sun's out. I've just been for a quick stroll up the street just to go and grab something for lunch. It's been an interesting morning. I edited the footage for the vlog. That's something I do try really hard to do, is to edit the day before's footage the following morning so that I can get the vlog out a bit quicker and I don't have hours and hours and hours of footage to go through. So I've been able to do that, and it is looking like this month it's not going to be a super long vlog. After that, I got on to starting to edit the photos that I took the other day, so I can, hopefully this weekend, I will be able to, I'll put that away. I will be able to finish editing all the videos. Well, the only thing I've got to do on the videos is actually add photographs onto them, and then I can get all those loaded up onto YouTube, and that's a bit of a relief. I can get on with doing other things then. I'm gonna go put my bag away. My mum swung by the house this morning. She's on her way to see a friend up the coast. I knew she was coming up here, so I asked her if she could go and pick me up some more soaping oils. The place that I used, it was only about 30-40 minutes away from our old house, and I used to go and pick up my soaping oils from them. Unfortunately, I think they might ship now, because I got a notice from them the other day about something to do with couriers, but I don't think they ship all the way up here for small businesses. They only then deliver to big distributors up here. So unfortunately, it is now a bit of a drive at an hour and a half. In fact, it would be even longer than that. It would be close to 2 hours for me to go and pick that oil up, which then kind of negates, I may as well go to one of the local suppliers here and pay the inflated prices that they've got. It would work out roughly the same. But my mum said that whenever I do need any of those oils, just to let her know, and she can go and pick them up if she's coming up here. So I did ask her to stop and grab me those soaping oils, and she stopped off at the house this morning so that they didn't sit in her car while she's up the road. So I got to see her, gave Pepper a bone, and then come into work. And on my way in today, I was trying to make plans as to what to do today. I think it's going to be another really quiet day. I did get an order online last night, but it was for DIY body care, so I don't have to do much for that. So no order packing. That's why the video is so short. There's no orders to pack. But on my way in, I was thinking, what am I going to do today? I've made the stock that I want to make. I do still need to make conditioner bars, but I'm in two minds whether I want to make them. I suppose I should in case they sell out. So what I was thinking on my way in, I kind of think I need a bit of a reset in the shop. It's got a little bit messy. I've got things sitting on the side that really need homes and that sort of thing. So I think today is all going to be about finishing labeling up the products that I've made, including the melts over there, and then just giving the shop a really, really good clean and getting it feeling good again. Because I do find when times are a little bit tough, if my workspace isn't super clean, I do struggle a little bit. So I think that's going to be the plans for today. So there might not be a lot of talking, a lot of music watching me work, but we'll see how we go. Oh, I don't want that. It's all right, just reading a notice on my computer. So I'm going to go get the computer set up, going to go and get that door open. Hopefully we'll get a few more people come in today than what I have had this week. Oh, there's a whole heap of birds fighting out the front of the shop. And I'm going to go and get my door open and see how it goes. right, so I have just done one of the jobs that I wanted to do. In fact, I was going to do it at the beginning of the week and I couldn't wrap my head around how to actually do this, and I didn't think I was going to be able to do it again today, but I really wanted to get the stuff out as part of my cleanup, and that is to do my guest soap bars a little bit differently. Online, oh, there's a bug. Online, there is the ability to do multi-buys, so if you buy X number, you get discounts on them, and in the shop, I've never had that multi-buy special, just simply because of the way the barcoding system works on my system. It doesn't allow me to do a multi-buy through there. So if I want to do multi-buys, it just takes a lot of setup. So I just did away with a lot of the multi-buys in the store. But I've actually noticed I have started putting a few of those multi-buys back into the store, and it is really helping people to purchase more than just one of something. So I've been wanting to get my guest soap bars out on multi-buys. So I've worked it out how to do it on the computer. Finally got them on the shelf, and hopefully that will encourage more than buying just one or two of them, and we'll hopefully buy the 5 and 10 deals that I've got. What I eventually want to do, and so what I've done up there is a bit of a trial, which is why I think I was struggling so much with the placement of where to put the stuff. So currently in the middle of the store, I have got this set up, and I don't actually like it. I don't like these cubby holes. I don't like how low down they are. I don't like how restrictive they are with being able to put stock in, and I can never actually find stuff to go in there that I like. So I want to get rid of this, but I still want this tabletop sort of thing happening. And what I've actually said to hubby I might end up doing is one day we'll go down to IKEA, and I want to get 2 more of these style of units and put them back to back in the middle here, so that the 2 shelves on the top of this will actually form the tabletop. And then I'm going to fill it up with those guest soaps. When we get the shower steamers out, they'll go on there, and it will be kind of become a bit more of a pick and mix sort of table. So I'll have items that are all on multi-buy specials in the middle here. But at the moment, it's one of those things, I want to do it, but I can't afford to do it at the moment, especially this month. I really want to get my shower steamer packaging on the go. But again, the way things are going, it might even be another month before I can actually bring those out. That's just the way it is. So there's no point getting the new shelving in until I've actually got all the products made that are going to go onto that shelving. So it'll probably be a couple of months in progress, but that is what I want to do. But I figured, you know what, we'll get the soaps out on somewhere in the shop and see if this idea that I've got to make like a little pick and mix station of products, see if that's going to work before I actually go ahead and change my sort of setup. So that's the plan. I am kind of getting there with cleaning up. I've still got a few things here to put away, and then I'm going to unmold all of those melts and get those all wrapped up. But it is my lunchtime, so I'm going to stop and have some lunch and then get on with the rest of the cleaning for the day. It is home time. It has been another really quiet day, but I did double the number of sales today. I got 2 people instead of 1. And I did also hear from William today. He has seen my notice about the melt subscription not working properly, and he has actually renewed it as well with just the subscription in there. But he also emailed me to say just to hold, or he's actually left a message on here to say to hold off unpacking it until tomorrow, because he is also going to place another order. So I've got that here. I have got the 5 melts to go out. This month is all about spa, so these are all really calming spa-like fragrances in there. And then I have also just finished doing next month. So for next month we're going to have hayride, we've got hot cross buns, I've got cream eggs. I am so stoked with this one. I've kind of made it look a little bit like a cream egg as far as I could. So I've got a bit of yellow, a bit of white, and then that sort of chocolate on the back. Super stoked with them. Got cottontails, you know, like bunny cottontails sort of thing. And then we've got Jaffa eggs, which is a mix of chocolate and orange. And then for those who this will be their 4th subscription, or anyone who is signing up for their 1st subscription in April, we've got autumnal Easter to go in here with this one. And as I said, it says really rich. I think I said it on here. I lose track of what I say on here and what I say on stories on Instagram, but this is a really rich Australian floral. So you get all like those Banksias and the just the really rich, pungent sort of flowers that we get here, especially those that come out around this sort of time of year as well. So that's all done. I'm feeling pretty good. Got all my benches nice and cleaned. I've got all of the melts all packed out on the shelf. I do have all that foot stuff sitting there tomorrow. I'm going to make up a couple of packs to go on the shelves, and then I'll also have some reserve stock for Mother's Day online. But super happy with everything I've managed to achieve today. The girls are having a good giggle next door. I am going to head on home. It's getting quite dark out there now. I'm going to head home, and then we'll be back in for Saturday, the last day of my working week. All right, I'll see you then. All right, guys, it is Saturday, and I can tell you I'm so grateful this is my short day. I have been on an absolute emotional roller coaster in the last 12 to 15 hours, and I am absolutely shattered from it and really just want to curl up and go to sleep some more. It's been absolutely crazy. As I've said, it has been super quiet this month. It has been super tough. It has left me with a lot of concerns, a lot of worries. It's left me feeling absolutely positively sick. In the first 3 weeks of the month, I only received 3 online orders on Soy and Shea, which is just, I'm still really grateful for those orders. I can't tell you how grateful I am for those, because there's just no words to express it. But it's also really concerning, because normally 3 orders a week for me would be quiet. So 3 orders in 3 weeks, that's basically 1 order a week. It's not survivable on, and I have to keep telling myself, keep reminding myself that everybody is in the same boat as me. And because I am a luxury item, even though soap is essential and things like that is essential, it's still a luxury item, and people don't have that luxury spend at the moment, because it's going into fuel, into electricity, into food, and all these other things which are going up and are essential to life. So I keep having to tell myself that we're all in the same boat, and we just have to look for ways to get through this really tough time. But it still is, it really does play on your emotions, thinking that you could actually lose your business through no fault of your own. Like, this is not something that I have done to my business. This is something that a billionaire has done to my business, and it gets really hard. I have been holding it together, and hubby and I have been discussing options and things like that, and I've got a few more ideas that came to mind as I was driving into work today that I'm going to try and implement over the weekend. It does mean I'm going to be sacrificing profits, but I would much rather start at least selling some of my stock at bare minimum, so at least it will cover the cost of the goods and actually go towards things like rent, fuel, electricity, internet, and all these other things, the FPOS machine, the website. You know, I'd much rather sacrifice that little bit of extra spending money but still have the money to cover the basics of running the business. So over the weekend, I've got a few things in mind that I need to do. It will mainly involve the soaps, so I will announce it over the weekend so people can see what's actually happening. So follow me on socials if you're in Australia and want to know what I'm doing. So I'm going to get on with doing that over there and try and help. But last night I did actually have a meltdown. And I will call it a meltdown. It wasn't a breakdown, it was a meltdown because I was doing a lot of yelling and shouting and screaming at the world. I really, really was. And it all started because hubby told me that there was no price on the diesel at the local service station, which I know why I was so upset. One of the reasons was because I'd actually thought to fill up the car yesterday morning, but because there were people already sitting and filling and there were other cars waiting, I decided not to do it. And then all of a sudden there's no fuel at the service station. But what didn't go through my head was like, okay, well that service station is out, but there are actually quite a few other service stations in the area, you know, 20, 30, probably more service stations, but they're all kind of a little bit out of my way. So I'd have to spend that little bit of extra to get to these service stations, and all these service stations are generally about 10 cents more per litre than what our little local was. But my head was just not on straight because of everything else that was going on, and I just absolutely broke down. We have got a few contingency plans if it does get to the point that we can't get fuel for my car. We are very fortunate that we do have two other cars. Hubby's got his Ford Falcon, which is his runabout car, you know, goes to work and stuff like that, and I'm quite happy to actually drive that car, and it can take 3 types of fuel. It does the E10, the regular unleaded, and the premium unleaded. So we're quite lucky with that one, it takes all of them. And then he's also got his Ford Falcon GT, which is a 1992 model or something, a big beast of a thing that I am not prepared to drive. It is not a daily runabout car. It is a reliable car, and I could drive it if I had to. I'd imagine it's very much like driving my Datsun that I used to have in the UK, a nice big heavy tank of a thing. But there's a lot of nostalgic memories that go with this car. It was actually his dad's car, and it was given to him. We probably took possession of it must have been about 18 years ago. His dad said, well, we were actually living up in Cairns at the time, and his dad said, I want you guys to actually have this car, because he didn't want anyone else getting their mitts on it. So he actually bought the car. They drove the car from Brisbane to Cairns. And I just remember how proud he was to be handing the keys over to hubby, and how proud that hubby was to be getting the keys to this car. So I would hate to drive this car and someone hit me. And like hubby says, it's just a car. No, it's not. This is not just a car. So I don't want to drive that one. But we do have options, because he can then actually drive the GT and I can drive his. So there are options there. But last night I was not seeing clearly. And I certainly wasn't seeing particularly clearly, because not only did I have a meltdown over the petrol, I then had an absolute meltdown, or breakdown, this one was, over dinner. Because I had in my head that I'd pulled out chicken skewer sticks for dinner, and I had some tortilla wraps in the cupboard, we had some vegetables and stuff. The only thing I was missing was some lettuce, so I asked hubby to get me some lettuce on the way home so I could make up these tortillas for dinner. And when I got home, I pulled all the vegetables out, I pulled the lettuce out that he's got the tortillas out, and then where's my chicken? Maybe it wasn't defrosted. Maybe hubby's put it in the sink, and I've looked in the sink, it's like, there's no chicken. I've opened the fridge, it's like, where's my chicken? I'll go, oh, you idiot, you didn't actually pull it out the freezer, you just thought about it. Because that's what my perimenopausal brain does. And I'm getting really, really, really upset, because here's me thinking that we've got chicken for dinner, and I've in fact got nothing for dinner, and that means we're going to have to go down to the IGA and go and spend additional money on something to have for dinner, or go and get takeaway, and I don't want to do that. No one can afford to do that right now. So I'm having this absolute breakdown, and hubby's come up to me, giving me this big bear hug and said, it's okay, I will go and get some. No, it's not okay. And I've opened up the fridge again. It's like, and I won't say what I said because I don't swear a lot, but I do occasionally, and it is when I'm really, really passionate about something. And I called myself a really unpleasant name. And I said, I pulled mince out for dinner, not chicken. And I think what actually happened was that I thought to do these chicken wraps, knew we didn't have any lettuce, so I put the chicken back, pulled the mince out with the intention of doing pasta and then doing the lettuce one after we'd done a vegetable shop on the weekend. And I've done that and then asked hubby to get the lettuce, still thinking I'm going to do these tortillas. I just had this absolute breakdown because it was like, this is just ridiculous. I mean, it's so stupid to sit back and look at it now, but yeah, I had this absolute breakdown over my stuff up with this dinner. But we then cooked it. It was a very nice dinner. Probably one of my best pasta dinners I've done for a long time. We had dinner and we were sitting there and hubby said, you know, just sit there and relax a bit. So I was sitting there and then my phone went cha-ching. Thank you, William. I cannot tell you how relieved I was to hear my phone go cha-ching and your order, which you said you were going to order, but I wasn't expecting it to come through until Saturday. I know you said you were going to order it. I saw your order come in and I can't even explain the relief I felt when I saw it come in. I just thought, one order for the week. That's fantastic. And plus your renewal. So thank you so much. And then we were sitting there and half an hour went by and my phone went cha-ching again. Samantha, you made me cry. I saw your order come in to get 2 orders within half an hour when I'd only had 3 orders for the entire month at that point. I burst into tears. Just thank you. And then this morning I woke up and there were 2 more orders on my phone. One of them was a DIY body care website, which again, that website's dropped off as well. Even though that's all digital, the sales on that website have dropped off as well. I've only had a handful on there, whereas for the last 2-3 months, I've been getting 2 or 3 orders a day coming in on that website. And at the moment, I'm lucky to get 1 a week. So that one came through. That was for Nicole. Thank you so much. And then there was another order here, or the other order was for Soy and Shea, and that was from Susan. And again, you made me cry. You really did. First thing in the morning, that was how my day started, with tears. She'd left a comment on one of the other YouTube videos about how her husband really likes the Kakadu plum and cucumber soap. And I said it was sold out online, but I did have some on the shelf. And I told her I transferred it onto the website. She's ordered those plus a few other things. So all 3 of you, thank you. Thank you so much. You have no idea. Even now I want to cry. But I'm not going to cry. We're going to go and pack these orders instead. But first of all, I do need to put the little microphone on for a little bit of a charge because it's just told me it's only got 10% and I don't want to lose you guys. So I'm going to pop that on charge for a minute and then we'll come back and we'll pack these orders. All right, I think I now have enough battery juice to get on with packing these orders up. While I was charging up the camera and the microphone, I did get 2 more orders come through. Thank you. These are both subscription renewals. The first one that came through was another one for Samantha, same person who has got a Soy and Shea one. This one came through for DIY body care for the formula experience, and I'm going to do it a little bit with her order in a moment. So I'll pop that to one side. And then I also have another monthly Melt Edit subscription from Julie. I have messed up a little bit. I forgot when I was making up the subscriptions that I had actually gained another subscriber throughout the month, and at the moment I don't have the set of 5 melts made up, but I have put the melt tank on, so the wax is now melting down right now, and it should be melted within the next sort of half an hour because there's not much in there. And then I will get those melts made. They should then be ready for me to, if they're not ready for me to unmold at the time of going home, I will take the molds home with me and all the packaging, and I will get them packaged up on Sunday, ready to go out in the post on Monday. So I'll just pop Julie's order to the side for the moment, but I am not going to forget doing that. So first up, we're going to pack William's order, and because you guys don't like looking at me while I'm packing, I'm going to move the camera down. All right, so let's see what William has got. Of course, we've got that melt subscription here, so we've got those 5 melts to go into the box, just like so. He has ordered, as usual, quite a few soaps. We have got, we'll take that one out for a moment, we've got Humbug, we've got a coconut lime soap, we've also got Spa Day. He has also ordered the Calming Citrus, Aussie Bush, and the Tropical Mango soaps. We'll get those all in there. And then, actually, I wanted to take that one out, pop that one there. He's also ordered the new release Dragon's Blood soap, so in that goes. Now, he has also ordered the car diffuser or car air freshener with the sun-kissed fragrance. We'll pop that in there. And then he's also ordered the newly released Elegance Solid lotion. Now, because William actually said to me to combine or wait to send the melt subscription and put it in the same parcel, which is saving me shipping, I'm sneaking an extra little something in there just to say thank you, but I'm not going to show it because I want that to be a surprise as to what it is, because I know he watches the videos. Of course, we're going to have our little ray of sunshine in there, and we've got a little sampler of another. Actually, we won't do that because you've already ordered that one. Let's pop in that as the little sampler. I don't need a lot, but I do need just a little bit of paper in there just to hold everything nice and tight in place. And of course, we still need to get that little thank you card in there. So let's get that one wrapped up. Forgot to print up my little stickers, but we've got those all done up now. So let's get that one all sealed up. And like I've done as well in the past, I'm just going to get this one closed up, and then we'll move on to Samantha's order. I'm actually putting 2 stickers, one for the melt edit and one of my normal closures. So that one is done for William. Let's go and grab Samantha's order. All right, so I've got the box ready for Samantha's order, and first up we'll do the Soy and Shea side of things. First up, I'm going to pop in one of my soap boxes with the odds and ends. I saw the cutest thing on Instagram last night, and it really did give me such a really nice smile and laugh, and I don't think they'll probably actually really understand just how much it made me smile. It was actually from the big soap shed, quite local to where I am, and she calls her soap pens soap butts. It just made me laugh so hard, and I really did need that. But I'm going to keep calling mine odds and ends because I don't just have the ends in mind, but I did like that name. Samantha has also ordered the Cleanse Clay Face Mask. So I'm just going to pop that into the bottom, and then she's also ordered the little kit. So in here, there's the little wooden bowl, the spoon, and the brush for applying. So we've got that in there. She has also ordered the Calamine Claytanicals soap bar and ordered one of our solid dish soaps as well. Now, she has also got that renewal subscription for the formula experience, and I have made the decision just to include this all in one parcel. It's also a bit of an environmental thing, so we're not actually wasting the boxes, the paper and everything else that goes into it. Plus there's also that shipping thing as well, if we're just shipping it with 1 parcel instead of 2. So I am going to include her after sun cream, which is part of the DIY body care experience. We'll pop that in there. Now, as I did with William, because I have combined that shipping, there is a little extra something in there for Samantha as well, just to make up for that sort of shipping element. I'm going to go and grab some paper to put in here. I don't want her to see what I've snuck in there. So I'm going to pop in a little bit of paper into the box there. Of course, we're going to include a little ray of sunshine in there. I also have a sample. I'm going to give her a sample of one of the other face masks as well. And then I'm also going to pop in both the DIY body care and the Soy and Shea thank you cards. And I have just made a note on there that I did combine the shipping and included that little extra for her. So I'm going to just seal that one up, pop that sticker on that side, and then let's just jump back into Munbin, and we'll also print up the DIY body care one as well for the other side. So we'll pop that on there as well. I did leave a note in there advising Samantha that it has been combined. If you prefer that I don't combine it in future, just let me know. So let's pop that one to one side. And the last order for now to pack is for Susan. She actually left a message on one of the YouTube videos the other day saying, am I going to be making some more Kakadu plum and cucumber soap, because her husband absolutely loves this one. After a bit of discussion with her, I found out he actually likes the chia seed, the scent, and the colours. So it's not just, because all my recipes are usually the same, and when people say they just like the feel of the soap, I can tell them all my soaps are made the same. But she would know that because she's been ordering from me for a long time. But I wanted to know what it was specifically, and he just likes the entire soap. I did say I had 5 of these left on my shelf. They weren't online, so I moved them onto the website for her, and she's grabbed the last 5. I do actually have a Kakadu plum fragrance, which I have explained all this to Susan. I have a Kakadu plum that I need to make up, so I will try and get those same colours, use the chia seeds in it, but for now I can't use that same fragrance. I'm having to be really, really careful about my spending at the moment, and I just can't warrant putting in a fragrance order to get that one fragrance and then just putting in some other randoms to make it worth ordering. I actually just can't afford to do that right now. So I will make the one up that is just the Kakadu plum. And then when things improve, I have told her I will get this particular fragrance in again and make this soap again. So that's that for now. She has also ordered 10 of the Sunkissed melts. So it's a good job I stocked these up yesterday because this was one of the scents that I actually made up and restocked the shelf with. So we'll get those 10 in there. And she's also grabbed 2 bundles of Rees. I'm just going to double check that we have got the correct amounts in them, and yes we do. So let's pop that in there. We'll grab some paper. All right, so the box is all nicely filled in there. Of course, we've got our little ray of sunshine, so pop that in. I'm going to include the Calm Solid Lotion as a sampler for her. I think she'll really like that one. I do have a little extra bonus in there because I've been giving everyone else bonuses today. So let's pop that in and let's get this one all sealed up too. So I'm going to get on with wrapping these up in their paper. I am then going to get my shipping labels done this morning, just in case Australia Post take my my band level off me before this afternoon. I will say though, this morning I did get really, really lucky. Because normally, like the last few times I've done stuff, it's just like I've missed things by this much. So this morning I decided I was going to stop off at this other fuel station on my way into work that's just a little bit out of the way. I thought, no, just stop. They are still, this other one is still actually cheaper than everywhere else. When I drove past our little local this morning, they did have the diesel back in. I think I said before it had gone up to $2.95 per litre. And I'd noticed that this other little service station in Caloundra here was sitting at $2.88. I thought, right, just go and top up the car with that one. So I actually pulled in. There was already one car. It's actually got three pumps. There was one car already parked, and then another Nissan Navara pulled up just in front of me, and I pulled up behind him. We both filled up and we walked in, we went and paid, and as we came back out, I noticed on the pumps the numbers changed to $2.94 Oh, someone was finally smiling down on me in that moment because I got the petrol at the $2.88. I quickly looked at the receipt to make sure that I did pay the $2.88 per what was on the big sign. And yes, I did pay the $2.88, and I noticed, yeah, the pump swapped to $2.94, and there was an attendant out swapping the sign. So thank goodness I did something positive happen. So I think if I go and get these all wrapped into their postal bags, get the shipping printed, I might just be able to get one more lot done at the lower rates. So yeah, I'll go and do that, and then that wax should be melted and ready for me to pour Julie's melts. It's been a busier morning this morning in terms of I had 3 customers this morning. So we're gaining 1 each day. So it has gone quiet now and the street's feeling a bit quiet. So I don't think the last hour and a half in the shop's going to be particularly busy, but you don't know. I have been making lots of smells in the shop. I've had the door open, getting those smells wafting out there. So hopefully it will draw a few more people in. I did get on with making the extra melts for Julie's subscription, and I've just moved them onto this bench so that they're actually under the air conditioner. They're already set. They just need to be a little bit cooler so I can get them out the molds without damaging them. So I've just popped them under the air conditioner to speed that process up, and then hopefully by the time it gets to say about 1:30, I should be able to unmold them, package them, and then pop them into the parcel. If not, I will take it all home with me and I will do it from home. I did actually end up making 2 lots even though I only need 1. Firstly, it's easier to make 2 lots of the melts than it is 1. But the other thing is, when you join the melt subscription, on your initial subscription, you do get a bonus melt. And even though I've actually got a specific one for April, say someone joins this month in March and I don't have a specific 6th one, what happens is any that are left over from previous months, you'll get one of these as a bonus melt, and then every 4th subscription there is also another bonus one in there. So on your 4th sort of one, say someone joins today in March, they'll get one of these from a past subscription, but when they get to July, which would be their 4th month, because they've had all those other subscriptions in between, this is like the bonus from April, so this will be the bonus that they get, but eventually these will actually all get used up. And the other thing I'm going to do is also offer these available in the shop, and if I end up with just way too many of them, at some point we'll do like mystery melt boxes with them as well, but at the moment I don't have enough to do that. But I did make Julie's up, and then I figured, you know what, I'm going to have the same problem in April with the melts because I still didn't add that extra subscription onto the April, providing no one cancels. So I went ahead and I made another batch of the Easter ones as well. So that's the five 5 of those. I made another batch of those so that I will actually have enough next month and won't have to make another small batch. Well, I'm not going to say hopefully. I would like to make another small batch. I would like there to be more subscriptions to get that ball rolling, but we'll see how that side of things goes. I'm going to go and have a little bit of lunch, and then I think the rest of the sort of day is going to be just tidying up the benches so that I can come in next week and just get on with doing what I need to do. I have to go and have a look on the shelves and see what needs making next week. Probably nothing. Actually, no, that's not true. There is 2 things I can see which actually need to be made up. One of those is a renew, and the other one is a cleanse face mask. So I do have things for next week as well, but I'm going to go get some lunch. I'm hungry. Why? Just why? Do you know what? Sometimes I seriously don't understand people. I really, really don't. So I'm going through the shelves like I do every Sunday, doing a bit of a stock take, having a look at what needs to be made for next week, what doesn't need to be made. And I've just come across my perfumes and my heart just sank. So this is what I can see on the shelf. And I'm thinking 2 of my testers have gone. Well, actually, no, not 2 of them, because someone has just put one of them back in the wrong place. But someone has swiped a tester bottle. Whether they think that because they're not quite full, it's okay to nick it because it's not worth as much money. But at the end of the day, those tester bottles can sometimes, in the case of the perfume, they cost me exactly the same to make a tester bottle as it does a bottle of perfume. But some of my other items, say the little tubs, these little tester tubs of the cream, these containers actually cost more than what these containers do. So it actually can cost a small business a lot more money to make a tester than it does to actually make an actual product. But what I don't understand, and I've seen this with my lip balms as well, what I don't understand is when you're looking at the shelf, I am more likely to notice that a tester is missing because they don't have the caps on them. I'm more likely to have noticed that than if they'd just taken a full bottle off the shelf and left the tester behind. Like seriously, I don't understand why people take the testers. With my lip balms, I find it all the time. I used to find it years ago in one of the markets that the tester pots used to go missing, and then I actually discovered that they were actually falling between the cracks of the boardwalk that I did at the twilight markets. But I have found since moving to the shop, these little tester pots often go missing. And again, it's one of those things that you're going to notice that your tester pot has gone missing because people want to test things than if someone actually just took the lip balm out of the container and left that. Like I seriously, like I don't understand why people have to steal stuff, but then they're clearly showing their brilliance at work, taking the one thing I'm actually going to notice has gone missing. That is just, After the week I've had, the month I've had, that is just so disappointing, mainly because I can honestly say that in all of my years of operating in a business, I have been extremely lucky. I can probably count on one hand how many times I can positively identify that a theft has happened within my business. I've been very, very lucky on that. And since being in this shop, I know there's a lot of theft that goes on around this area, but since being in the shop, that is the first thing that I can confidently say has been swiped from out of my store. And I get it, we're all doing it tough at the moment. As I've said so many times, we're all doing it tough. But that doesn't give you the right to steal from a business, especially, well, any business, but especially a small business where we cannot afford to have our stock stolen. These big supermarkets and shopping chains like Kmart and that, they've factored in the cost of the amount of stock that gets stolen. But for a small business like myself or the ones up the street, we can't do that. So having people steal stuff is just such a heartache, and it really makes you then watch everyone like a hawk that comes in. So yeah, that's a bit of a negative way to finish my week, to have discovered that that's happened this week. That has happened one day this week. So yeah, very, very, very disappointed because all of those were on the shelf last week. Very, very disappointed. Anyhow, okay, so as you can see, I am now at home. I'm in the office. I'm about to get on with finishing editing the vlog to get it up on here for you. I did actually do a sign off in the shop, but something happened on the way home that I couldn't leave the vlog that way. Here on YouTube, I am very open and honest on here because although I have a lot of customers who watch the YouTube channel to see what's going on, a majority of the people watching are fellow creators. And I'm not one of these creators who is going to make it look like all rainbows and sunshine. At the end of the day, running a business can be really, really, really tough, and it can be really, really, really fun. You go from one extreme to the other and everything in between. And there's nothing worse than seeing these other businesses that at first you find inspiring and who just constantly post the good stuff, like just constantly post, I'm making 200 bars of soap this week, I'm making 500 bars of soap, and I just got this massive order. That can even though it can be a little bit inspiring at the beginning to see, you know, it is possible to be successful, it can also be very, very draining in that you then start to feel that you're not good enough, that you aren't going to be successful. But when you actually stop, if you are in that situation of looking at many other successful businesses, and I'm not going to name them because they are all brilliant businesses, but when you actually stop and look at what they're posting, a lot of the footage is the same stuff again, and again. And it's not that they're having the same consistency, they're just posting the same footage. So they're not always quite as busy as what they may lead you to be. And you've got to be really, really careful about that. But I've always made a point of being open and honest with you, telling you when I have those really, really good months. In fact, I don't always tell you all the absolute highs because it can be depressing when you see someone having that many successful highs and you're not. But I will always share with you the absolute lows as well. And I don't do that to get sympathy or to get extra orders or anything else like that. I share it because I want other fellow business owners, whether you're in the bath and body industry or if you make jewelry, pottery, clothing, 3D printing, whatever it is that you do, if you are a small business, you have to realize that it is not always going to be super duper highs. For every super duper high you have, you are going to have a super duper low as well. It just to kind of all balance it out. And sometimes those super duper lows, they can come one after another until you are feeling like I've been feeling, down and out. But you have to remember that at some point it's going to turn around and it's going to be good again. And you've got all that stuff in between, like all the average stuff in between that we sometimes take for granted. But I've always wanted to make sure that I share everything about running a business. So if you're not doing as well, if you're struggling to get those sales through, you know that even people who look like they're potentially always busy are also struggling with the same realities of what you are as well. And like I said, I don't actually do it to get sympathy. I don't get it to get the orders or anything else. It is there to share with you that this is the reality of running a business. So don't just give up on it. Keep pushing through. Now, I do that on YouTube because a lot of people are fellow makers. But when it comes to doing Instagram, I don't tend to get as far into the real nitty gritty. I don't go sharing only the highs over on Instagram and Facebook. I still keep it very open and honest, but I'm not as forthcoming with the financial side of things. However, and that is because I am actually targeting customers on my social pages. I know I have a lot of creators following me on there, but that is not what I'm using Facebook and Instagram for. That is to talk to my customers who are buying from me so I can keep them up to date with what is happening on the website, what's happening in the shop and things like that. And they don't need to know the pressures necessarily of paying the electricity bill and stuff like that. So I don't put that out on Instagram. Hopefully that all kind of makes sense. But today I actually did have a little bit of a say on Instagram, explaining about the theft that had happened in the shop and how it had really made what was a terrible week even worse and a terrible month. And, you know, just put it out there. I hope I wasn't too nasty about it. I really do. It was just a very open and honest. This has really made me feel down. And I said, you know, when people do this sort of stuff, this is why we're closing all the time. And I did actually mention on there that there is a very real possibility of closing the shop down if things keep going the way they actually are. And again, it wasn't to actually gain sympathy or orders or anything like that. I just wanted to share the absolute reality and that I am a person behind the business. I'm a person with feelings and you know, a theft can really, really affect me. So anyway, I put all of that out and then I set off home. I had to stop off at the shops because I know my mum won't accept petrol money from me for bringing up the oils. So she is actually swinging back by on Monday and she said we'll go out for breakfast. So I know she won't let me pay for breakfast either. So I actually stopped off at the shops and I've just gone and got some ham and bagels and some salmon and some nice berries and some nuts and things so we can actually have a nice relaxing breakfast out on the back patio and just enjoy the peace and quiet that's in the house. And I know that, well, I've already got all the stuff, so she can't whinge. I win. But on my way back to the car, my phone went cha-ching. I was like, oh, an order. Like just the pure relief every time my phone does that. I'm not just doing a happy dance. There is just this pure, every time it goes, it's just like, oh, I can actually pay my electricity bill now. You know, that sort of thing. So the phone went off and I opened it up and I saw that it was quite a substantial order. And I opened it up and it was, I have to say, I know we're not going to show packing it, but I have to say a huge thank you to Nicole. She has placed this amazing order and she left me a message which had me crying in the middle of the Woolworths shopping car park thing, to the point that this guy come up to me and says, are you okay? And I says, yeah, I'm okay. I've got the most amazing customers, that's all. And she's left me this beautiful message after she actually did see the Instagram posts that I've done. So thank you so much, Nicole. Can't show the packing on this video, but trust me, that order, it just, like the last few, made me cry. So there it is. Yeah, it has been a pretty tough week, tough month. Next month might be even be just the same. At the moment, we're going day by day, seeing what happens, and still trying to find a reason to smile at the end of it. Thank God I've got Miss Pepper, because she does make us smile every day with her antics. But thank you so much for coming along with me on this month's vlog. I hope you've been able to take something from it. If you are a struggling business, just hang on in there. I know it is hard. I really, really do, but just hang on in there. It has to get better. It just has to get better. But thank you for coming along. If you enjoyed this month's vlog, please leave a thumbs up and any comments down below so that this can get out to more people. But otherwise, I hope you have a good one, and I will see you next time. Bye.